What if I told you that your silence holds more power than 1,000 words? That in the moments when you're most tempted to speak, God is saying, trust me, stay silent. This message isn't just about self-control, it's about unlocking your destiny. Watch this until the end, because the strength you're searching for starts in the silence. In a world filled with noise, silence is revolutionary. It is not empty, it is pregnant with potential. Silence is a sacred space where the presence of God moves quietly, yet powerfully. The strength in stillness. Shi Heng Yi often speaks of mastering the self, of rising above impulses and allowing clarity to govern action. That same principle exists in spiritual silence. Silence is not passive, it is active surrender. It is a choice to trust that God is working behind the scenes, even when we see nothing on the surface. The Bible says, the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. These words are not a poetic suggestion. They are a battle strategy. When we are silent, we step aside and allow God to take the lead. David's example, strength over speech. Consider David before he fought Goliath. Goliath mocked, threatened, and tried to intimidate. But David did not argue. He didn't waste his breath defending his ability or explaining his strategy. He prepared silently, confident that his God would deliver. His silence wasn't fear, it was faith. It was a spiritual posture that said, God will decide the outcome, not my words. This teaches us something profound. Silence isn't always about saying less. It's about letting God say more through your actions, your peace, your restraint. Silence as spiritual warfare. We often think spiritual warfare looks loud, prayer shouted, declarations made, but silence can be warfare too. Because in silence we deny the flesh. We deny the ego that wants to argue. We deny the need to prove ourselves. And when we deny the flesh, we give space for the Spirit. We give God a clean canvas to work on. We step back so His brush can move freely. He doesn't need our noise. He needs our obedience. Silence says, God, I trust you more than I trust myself. The power of unspoken faith. As a reason, Jesus stayed silent during his trial. He could have defended himself, called legions of angels, exposed the lies of his accusers. But he chose silence, not because he couldn't speak, but because he knew what silence would accomplish. But silence led to the cross, and the cross led to resurrection. Sometimes your silence is the doorway to your greatest victory. When we hold our tongue, we are not just avoiding conflict, we're inviting God to do what we cannot. Trust is louder than words. When you're misunderstood, when you're falsely accused, stay silent. When you're mocked, belittled, ignored, stay silent. Not because you're weak, but because you're wise. Because you know that your defender sees what others don't. God is not blind to your pain. He is not deaf to your cries. He sees, He hears, and He is working. Silence is not giving up. It's handing over. It's saying, God, I'm not going to fix this. I'm going to trust you to fix this. Humility, the hidden power. It takes great humility to stay silent in the face of injustice. We want to speak, to clarify, to justify. But humility understands that God knows the truth. and that's enough. James 4:6 says, God resists the proud but gives grace to the humble. When you choose silence over pride, grace flows, peace enters, God begins to move. Pride shouts, humility whispers, and God leans in to hear the whisper. Silence builds character. Every time you remain silent when tempted to argue, you are training your spirit. You're building discipline, patience, wisdom. Shi Heng Yi teaches that discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you are becoming. In silence, God shapes your character. He teaches you not only how to respond, but when to respond, or not respond at all. God is not just concerned with what happens around you, He's focused on what's happening inside you. Letting God speak first. When you are silent, you are not closing off communication. You are prioritizing divine communication. You're saying, God, speak first, guide me, let your words come before mine. It's easy to talk ourselves into trouble, to speak in haste. But when we wait, when we listen, we often find that God gives us a better way, a wiser way, a way that brings peace, not conflict. The test of trust. Remaining silent is a test of trust. Do you believe that God will defend your reputation? Do you believe that He will fight for your family, your job, your future? Do you believe that His way is better, even when you don't understand it? If you do, stay silent. Because silence is not the absence of action, it is the ultimate act of faith. Silence speaks volumes. He will notice your silence. They will see your peace when they expect anger. They will witness your calm when they expect chaos. And they will wonder, what gives this person such strength? Your silence becomes a testimony. It shows others that your confidence doesn't come from yourself, but from your God. It's a silent sermon, louder than any words you could say. Allow God to lead. You don't have to explain yourself to everyone. You don't have to defend yourself in every situation. God is your defender, your advocate, your shield. He knows when to speak and when to stay silent. If you allow Him to lead, He will guide you into peace, protect your dignity, and elevate you in due time. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. This verse is not a suggestion, it's an instruction, a daily discipline. Staying silent isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily discipline. Every day you'll be tempted to speak too soon, to explain too much, to defend too hard. But every day is also an opportunity to say, God, I trust you more than I trust my words. Let your silence be an offering, a sacrifice of pride, a declaration of trust, victory in the waiting. Waiting in silence is hard, but it's in the waiting that transformation happens. While you are silent, God is moving, rearranging, preparing. He is doing what you cannot do, opening doors no man can shut, closing doors that would harm you, speaking to people on your behalf, healing wounds behind the scenes. Just because you're quiet doesn't mean nothing is happening. In fact, silence is often the loudest proof that God is up to something.